Yeah, and then I just like I love this man. This
Yeah.
man was the greatest influence in my life, and I like to say, like I was always looking for father figures, like even in the wrong places. But meeting Oscar at 18, I had a phone relationship with him because I had a 52 Chevy, and I was like, "Hey, man, like it's dying today. We'll put a nickel in the voltage regulator, and it'll fire right up. And then when you don't need to drive it, just pull that nickel out." Genius. Oscar was a genius in so many fucking ways. Oscar taught me everything I know. Oscar didn't give you like it's like people be like, "Well, influence." Like, "Oh, you're just those are What Oscar did was like give you the keys. Oscar gave you the keys to like he taught you the magic. Like he gave you the spell. Like so you want to work on an old car, well, fuel, fire, you know,
I mean, he was like, he was a master at like finding broken stuff and fixing it. And I mean, I remember when we'd go on motorcycle rides. At some point, he had fixed his exhaust with a P trap,
yeah.
like from a sink.
Yeah.
And it was like, is that? He's like, it works, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, and a lawn chair that he had modified for the seat because, no bike fits anybody, and Oscar wasn't the tallest guy, and so, like, he's just like, "The seat's too big and it cramps my ass," so he's like, chops a lawn chair, like, true innovator, true genius. He had the mysteries.
he had the
Oscar was the
mysteries,
school of
and he was
mysteries.
just the linchpin for so many people. Like
If when you said broken, you said something about, finding the broken things. It was the people.
yeah,
Oscar had this
or just the people that were new to town, or what. Like he had
if you
this.
found Oscar and
You
but
were
s
gonna be all right, and
the
like
thing was like he employed people that couldn't find employment anywhere else. He had a
all the face
rogues
tattoos,
yeah, he
the
had a
people drinking at
rogues
work.
and this is in the '90s. He had a rogues gallery. He was a hard man. Like his daughters are the sweetest, most loyal, lovable, beautiful girls,
Hmm.
number 1. Let
Yeah.
me just say that. But his daughters can hold a grudge, fight like a man, fix a fucking car, and look good doing it. Like, I remember like first time I met Rachel, like, or one of the first times was another, like, I'm talking to Oscar and I'm like bleeding the brakes on my 51 Plymouth with the roof cut off. I got it for $400 out of Anderson Estates after a tornado, and roof had collapsed on this beautiful Plymouth Concord fastback with like 40,000 miles, cherry. But the roof was caved in, but it was a split window with a flat window and a fastback. So I just drove it home with some goggles. Me and Robert Fitzpatrick and Robert Daniel went out there, uh, drove it home, got home to Birch Street, the Peeps punk rock house I was living in at the
Yeah.
time. Another great era. And I took out a circular saw with metal blades and I cut the fucking roof off. And then I had to bleed
It
the
was broke.
brakes, and I'm like, "Oscar, I can't get this thing back together." I was doing it wrong. Um, he's like, "All right, just okay, well, actually Rachel's gonna come over." And I go, "Okay."
You're like,
Rachel's
and then
Rachel's a goddess. No, she
yeah,
was
she
like a goddess of the punk rock scene. Like every
yeah,
guy
yeah,
had a
yeah,
crush on
yeah,
Rachel.
yeah.
But so Rachel, which I always just like, I don't know, I've had this like sister, brother, like I think I'm like in the family, but I'm like the step brother or something. Like I'm trouble, I know, but they've always loved me and just like
You're personable.
that Rachel, I hear her. She had the blue Impala. I hear her like cut out exhaust come. Rah. She pulls up, gets out. She's in a fucking mini skirt. I think it was like a Friday night before work, and like Friday night was the night at Bandito back in
Yeah,
the day.
yeah.
Everybody would go to Bandito. Everybody would eat after they got off work or whatever, and then they would go downtown. The downtown scene was where all the punk rockers and skateboarders went. There were shows. They produced their own magazines. They produced their own CDs, tapes,
All the
records,
flyers for all the
all the
shows were in the
flyers.
window.
There was a happening scene here, and everybody was in a band, if not three. I mean, it was just like it was an amazing era.